Start over. Welcome to our Radiant Tribe team call. I'm excited to hang out with you ladies tonight, and I always get so excited to pass over the mic to one of you guys because I love watching you just blossom as leaders and as you're growing in your own personal business and as you're adding to your team. My way is not the only way. We all bring such unique and special things to the table when it comes to coaching and just in general. God uses our own unique stories and struggles and, our gifts. And so I love for us to be able to hear from each other. And there's just always going to be things that we can take away from each other to learn and grow in our businesses. And so I'm excited for our speaker tonight. I reached out to my girl Jacqueline because she is so inspirational to me. I've gotten the pleasure of just watching her on her journey as she has given her business to the Lord and really trusted him with it. His timing probably, if I could speak for her, probably hasn't necessarily always been what she would have wanted, her timing to be and what she would have wanted, but his way is always better. And so it's just been neat to watch her journey unfold. Her personality is so calming, and I am such a spaz that when you are either in her presence or even watching her on social media, she has just this comforting, calming presence, and she's just such a sweet person to know and be around. So I'm going to read a little bit of her story, and then I don't want to take up any more time because I want to hear what she has to say. So she is 36 years old. She's a self-proclaimed extroverted introvert. She lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with her crazy husband of 2 years, Eugene, and he is super funny. In the morning, they are hilarious together. She met him at her old job and married 2 months and 2 days after their first date. Hey now. She's a baker, a jewelry maker, a decorator, lover of deep theology studies, all kinds of books, herbal tea, DIY crafts, and really good cheesecake. That's what I'm talking about. She and Eugene don't have any kids yet because she's all about the auntie life. She became a stay-at-home wife in July of 2017, 7 months after getting married, and spent the better part of the next year trying to find her first food until she stumbled across my Instagram in April of 2018. That's when God revived an old desire to pursue health and fitness, but from a Christ-centered perspective. She started her own journey in June of 2018, had a major health setback in August of 2018, but ever since has been learning so much about God's faithfulness and remaining faithful as a response to him, and I love that. So I'm going to turn it over to Jacqueline. We are excited to hear from you.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for allowing me to have this opportunity, Patrice. I told her earlier I am absolutely terrified, but it's not about me. It's about God's glory and hopefully encouraging each of you as you are on your coach journey, whether you are brand new or you've been in the game for a little bit of time. So like Patrice said, I still consider myself a newlywed, even though I've been married for over 2 years now. And my husband is crazy. He knows that. Erica, you've seen him in the morning. He has no sense of propriety whatsoever. But he truly is a joy. And if you hear loud noises in the background, I apologize. I am actually at small group right now, and I leave out every Monday for these calls. But we met at work, and some really bad situations happened. He ended up losing his job a few months after we got married, actually. And because of the situations at that job, he asked if I would leave as well. And that was a really scary place to trust God and trust him because we had no safety net. But we've been on a self-employment journey, and God has been taking care of us ever since. And so for many months, I was just at home, just trying to figure out what to do with my life. And as Patrice said, it was really sort of randomly, I stumbled across her page. I was actually following Caroline, Patrice's upline, and I saw a post that Caroline had about purpose partners. And I saw Patrice, and I was reading her story, went over to her Instagram, and was just blown away. And I was one of the weirdos that messaged her and said, hey, can I be a coach on your team? And she was like, sure, absolutely. And then coaching did not go the way that I thought it would. When you start Beachbody, and I'm sure each of you have heard this, as soon as you start, your goal is to get those first 3 challenge packs sold in your first month so that you can be a success starter and get your business off and running. And that was not my journey at all. I started in June of 2018, and I had actually coached before about 4 years ago, and it hadn't been a really good fit at the time. So I walked away. And so when I found Patrice, I was like, this must be it. This is exactly what I wanted my business to be. I wanted it to be centered around Christ and the pursuit of health and fitness. I finally found the mentor. I'm going to hit the ground running, and it's just going to explode. I know it. And that didn't happen. I did not hit Success Club. I didn't sell anything in my first month or my second month. But I was on my own journey. And so I thought, okay, it's fine. I'll figure it out. And then in August, I got very sick. I have a rare blood disorder, and it had been in remission for 12 years. And then in the beginning of August, we had just started week 3, I believe, of Lift 4. We were in the VIP test group for Lift 4, and I got sick and ended up hospitalized for 3 weeks. And it was a life or death type of situation. And so on the one hand, I thought that was going to totally derail my business. There's no way that anyone's going to follow me if I'm sitting in the hospital with a catheter in my neck and I can't do anything. But something that God impressed on me the entire time was that I was in the hospital was remain faithful. And that was a message that I had honestly heard from Patrice from day one. Remain faithful. The fruit is not your responsibility. Fruitfulness is God's job. Your job is faithfulness. So you do what you said you would do day in, day out, and trust God with the results. So even from the hospital bed, I would show up for the team calls. I would check in with my free challenge group that I had going on. I did what I knew to do to stay committed. But it really did become a struggle because even when I went home, health-wise, I did not have the strength or the stamina to do anything that I had done before. And I had nothing to show people. I felt like I couldn't take them on the journey because I couldn't go on the journey, at least from where I was sitting. Health did not look the way I thought it would. Business didn't. And so month after month, I'm not hitting Success Club. I'm not getting any interest from people. I was to the point of wondering, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this wasn't for me. But again, what God continued to teach me through this time was remain faithful. It's not about the results if you said that this whole thing was about purpose. If it's about purpose, then that's bigger than the profits. And when I tell you I hadn't made $1, I hadn't made $1. I hadn't made one sale. I had no customers. I had no coaches. It was just me. And all I could see was spending money on Beachbody, but nothing is coming back in. How am I going to keep explaining this to my husband when we are already in the self-employment trying to make ends meet category? But I had no choice but to continue to be faithful. And then this year rolled around, and I remember hearing about Team Cup, and I honestly just was not very interested. I saw Patrice's post and I wasn't going to sign up. Everybody else is running. I've had good moments of feeling really encouraged. The team retreat was amazing in November. I came back from that so pumped and still nothing. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I'm not going to get on board with another challenge or anything like that. I'll just watch. And then Patrice did what she so often does, and she tagged me in something and said, hey, just wanted to make sure you saw this. Were you interested? Wanted to give you a chance. And there was that thing that said, oh, all right, Patrice, fine. I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. And she created these teams in a brilliant way. That's all I can say. She created these teams in a brilliant way. And she also came up with, I'm sure you guys have seen the Go for No. She put those out there. And there was something about the end of January preparing for Team Cup. There was something in me that said, you know what? To heck with it. I'm just going for it. I'm going to throw everything I got at the wall, and whatever sticks, so be it. If nothing sticks, so be it. At least I will be able to say I laid it on the line. Because up to this point, I've been really afraid of rejection. Rejection terrifies me. This talking to you guys terrifies me because I'm thinking they're going to think I'm so stupid. I'm not Patrice. I don't have anything worth saying. This is just the internal struggle that I go through. And so I would do the vital behaviors, but not with the kind of intensity or commitment or conviction that I really should have had. So I would do it kind of like, well, if you might possibly maybe sort of be interested, I would love to talk with you. But if not, don't talk. It's fine. You don't have to. I'll go away. And that doesn't inspire confidence in anyone. But like I said, I saw the Go for No challenge. And I said, you know what? I'm going for 100 no's. I am endeavoring to the best of my ability to get 100 people to say no to me. Not get 100 people to say yes. I'm endeavoring to get 100 people to say no. Because that means I've done what I was supposed to do. I've tried to speak to as many people. I have shown up every day with every part of my journey, not just working out and what I ate, but my life, my business, everything that is part of this. The fact that Jesus is at the center of everything. I'm going to show up with all of it. I'm going to reach out to people, whether it's warm market, cold market, someone I've never met. I'm going to do it because that's what we said we were here to do. And there were a few things that I think have really made the difference. And if it's okay, I'll share that. I'm going to kind of mimic something Patrice does. And she uses, is it alliteration, where you use the same letter or the same sound over and over again? So that's kind of how it came to me as far as what's been working, because there was something that turned around this month. I made my first Success Club points. It's only 2. There's still 10 days left, and there's still the part of me that panics, like, there's 10 days, and you haven't hit Success Club. What are you going to do? I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing, and I'm going to leave the results to God. But there was a turning point. Like I said, I made my first Success Club points, and it was off of someone I wouldn't have expected, my brother. And I wasn't one that wanted to talk to my family because they heard me coach before. It didn't work. My brother, my husband finally gave the go-ahead, like, yes, you signed me up as a coach, but now you can purchase things through mine. So you can make me active. So on day 1 of February, I went Emerald, which was, to me, a huge boost. It was something that most people can do in their first few weeks. And it took me several months. But like Patrice said, it was God's timing. And it was enough to encourage me. It is possible. You don't know what people are going to say. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so the 3 things that I would say have really been working for me so far is, number 1, resiliency. And like I said, the big piece of that is the Go for No challenge. And going for no consistently. Not, I'm gonna go for 5 no's today, but then tomorrow I'm discouraged, so I'm not going to try. It's going for that every single day consistently. And it is a challenge, really, to stay encouraged in the face of disappointment. And I think that's true for anybody. But if you're anything like me and you take those rejections very personally, that discouragement becomes very paralyzing if you allow it to be. But I've had to make Go for No a personal mantra. And it's been my way to ensure that I am talking to people every single day. I am inviting 5 different people every single day, not the 5 people that I invited 3 months ago, but 5 brand new people that I haven't talked to about this today. And that's to coaching and to a group. And to have something to invite them to, I either invited them to something that the Radiant Tribe team was doing, or I finally took this as my challenge to, you know what, you need to create something. I love how much Patrice does for us. She makes so many things available to us as an option, and I want to take advantage of those, but I also know I need to take ownership of this for myself. It can't always be Patrice does the heavy lifting and I just show up to ride along with her. I can learn so much from what she's doing, and then it's time to strike out and start to build my own. And so for the first time, I'm running my own challenge group, and I've got 2 people in it, and that may be all we have. But me and these 2 are going to run. We're going to do it. So that resiliency, that going for no, that embracing the rejection, not as a rejection of me, but as, you know what, not now. I'm gonna wrap my arms around it. Not now. I'll circle back around to you later, unless or until you tell me to leave you alone. At the point that you tell me to leave you alone, then I'll leave you alone. But up until then, you're just a not now. And as Patrice said, I call myself an extroverted introvert. I am very much an introvert. I very much like to be by myself. Extroverting is hard. Peopling is hard for me. But I also know that as a Christian, this is what we're called to do. We're called to love people. We're called to reach beyond ourselves. And Beachbody is one of those challenges. It forces me to do that. And I thank God for it. The second thing that has been working for me is what I call reformation. I don't know if any of you have ever done an Enneagram test. It's kind of like one of those personality or get to know you kind of tests. And I always score as a number 1. I am extremely hard on myself. I am always looking for what's wrong and how I can make this better and how I can perfect this. But I had to kind of reform that way of thinking and stop looking at this entire process as a have to and start looking at it as a get to. As long as I was approaching even my own journey as a have to, I have to work out. I have to eat right. I have to show up. I have to make this amount of money. I have to talk to these number of people. It was a burden. There was no joy in it. There was no really looking for the opportunities to see God's grace at work. It was just weight that I couldn't measure up to. It was a standard, a bar that I couldn't get to. But when it became a get to, an opportunity, a privilege, a responsibility, 1, to see God's grace, 2, to be an instrument in his hands to use however he chooses, and 3, I get to cultivate a healthier lifestyle. There's nothing like having a life or death experience to remind you, hey, you get to breathe today. You get to move today. Being able to do a squat without being in tears from pain is a get to for me, and I am thankful. So why wouldn't I move? Why wouldn't I appreciate the healthy lifestyle? I get to build a business that I'm passionate about because I have this wonderful opportunity that didn't require a huge financial investment, but I get to say it's my business. I have ownership of something or stewardship of something. I get to do these things. I get to walk with women. I get to reach out to them and try to encourage them in their health journeys. I get to show them Jesus through their health and fitness. When I changed that mindset from have to get to, it made a huge difference. And I think that's because of humility. It is, I think, a dangerous kind of pride that only looks at the dollar amount, that only looks at the benchmarks, that only looks at the status symbols and is consumed with those. Those things are great. The rewards are great. And I'm just like anyone else. I would love the rewards. I absolutely would. How could you not? The trips or the recognition, they're wonderful. But if that's all that I'm after, that's more about me. It's not so much about the people that we're here to serve. It's not so much about the God that we say we're endeavoring to glorify in what we do. I think if we humble ourselves, like the Bible says, he will exalt us in due time. He will give us whatever rewards he's already determined for us to have if we will just yield everything to him. And that takes humility. So like I said, I had to kind of change that mindset and look at things more as the opportunity and the responsibility to steward these gifts well and point them back to God. And then the last thing I would say is renovation. And we've all heard of the 4 vital behaviors. They're the things that we are taught from day one. They're the must-dos of our business. But they won't necessarily look the same for each of us. And we can't spend our time trying to make our way of going about the 4 vital behaviors look exactly the same as the person next to us, because we're each individuals. We have our unique personalities and experiences and abilities and interests. We each have different people that are going to connect to us for different reasons. So we have to find a way to do the 4 vital behaviors in a way that's uniquely you. I can't be Erica. Erica's a great person. I love her. I love her story. I love her work, but I'm not Erica. And the way that she does the 4 vital behaviors may not be exactly the same way that I do it. But it doesn't mean that we're doing any less work. So it just took a little renovation for me, a little thinking outside of what I thought was the box and looking for the way to do it that was more me. I am a writer, and you guys can tell just from how I'm talking now, I am super wordy. I use lots of words, especially when I type. And so that was one of the things that would actually hinder me when it came to invitations. I would second guess everything I was typing. I'm saying too much. I'm going on. No one cares about word vomit. Stop talking. No one cares. And I would get so anxious about typing up a message that it would take me 25 minutes to type one simple, hey, thanks for watching and following and liking on Instagram. What I found works for me is to send a video. Instagram will not let me send a video that's longer than a minute. So instead of me typing up something, I just record a quick 1-minute video that thanks the person for following or for watching or for engaging. And then I have a script. I've pretty much made a script now that even tells them, I hope it's not strange I'm sending you a video message out of the blue. I tend to be wordy when I type. Video keeps me short, sweet, and to the point. I usually have a pretty in-your-face invitation in my posts or things like that, but I don't like to assume. So I like to just ask and be sure. Were you interested in the coaching group that I was talking about? Were you looking to get started on your health and fitness journey? Because if so, I would love to walk with you and see if there's a way that I can support you in that. Boom. That's it. It's 59 seconds on the dot. And contrary to what I thought, that gets such a positive reaction from people. It doesn't always get a yes. I've gotten a lot of no's from that. But the reactions from people, it has never been negative. It's always been, oh my goodness, that was so sweet. I can't believe you would send a personal video message like that. No, it's not strange. Thank you so much. I'm not interested right now, but please keep me in mind. Maybe later on down the road I will. Or some people have said, you know what, I am struggling with some things. I'm not quite sure what I want to do right now. What is it that you do exactly? And that opens up the door for a further conversation. So switching to video, it was scary for me, but it's been received really well. And when I tried to go back to writing messages for a day, it literally took me all day to send out 5 messages. And Eugene had to say, I thought you were doing video now. Why are you sitting here trying to type? You know that doesn't work for you. So renovate. Find a way that works for you. And if it's scary, that's fine, as long as it's uniquely you. The other thing I do to renovate, and I actually got this from someone else, but I tweaked it a little bit, was I use Instagram a lot, and I started saving people that I'm interested in talking with into collections. You can save people's posts into different collections, and I made a collection for each letter of the alphabet. So there's a separate collection for every letter A to Z. If I search for something, I search for a hashtag, or I'm following one person and I go to look to see what other people have been commenting or liking this post, because these are people that might be interested in something I have because we both like the same post. I'll go and investigate, see if it's someone that I would like to talk to in the future. I don't add them as a follower right away. I will save a post of theirs that I want to go back and comment on in the future. And then on Monday is my day to go through my A through E collection. So I'll go A through E. I'll find that person. I'll do the 5-3-1 method. I will like 5 of their posts. I will comment on 3, and then I'll send them a message. And usually that results in them coming back to my page, looking and liking a bunch of my pictures and following me. That's how I've kind of built up my connections and expanded my network without necessarily me having to follow a whole bunch of people, because then my list gets too big and I get overwhelmed and I can't process all of that. So the last part of the renovation is make sure you're not just sharing your workouts and what you're eating for a day. What you're doing for fitness and what you're eating is great, but ultimately there's a million people doing that same thing. And you're looking to draw the people that you want to work with, whether as coaches or as customers. And so I would just encourage you to share you. Again, you're looking for ways to do the 4 vital behaviors in a way that is uniquely you. So you have to be sharing you, who you are, what your life is like, what you're about, so that people have that part of you to connect with. That's what Patrice did. It wasn't her workouts that I connected with. I didn't know anything about Instagram stories when I came across Patrice's page, so I hadn't even watched her stories. But it was the things about her life that she shared that I really resonated with. And even though we weren't in the same spaces in life, we had similarities, and that's what drew me in. So share what you're studying, share what you're reading, share what's going on in your family, share your struggles or the things that resonate with you. Use the color wheel, which I'm sure we've all heard about. Make sure you're using that color wheel to find the things that are you that you can share with other people. And those are the things that have been working for me so far this month. I still have 10 days left, still pushing. And so I would just encourage each of you to keep pushing, keep striving. Beachbody has given us just a crazy opportunity this month to kind of start the clock over. If you're a new coach and you haven't hit Success Club before, you now have an opportunity to hit it for the first time, and it'll start the clock over for Success Club for you. So there's still 10 days left. That's what I'm pushing for. I hope each and every one of you is pushing for that. And yeah, that's what I got.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Seriously, I am trying to decide what my favorite point was. I love all of them. But one thing that, so don't ever say that it was weird that you filled out my form before, because you were like my one story. You think that people just flood to you as a coach. All of a sudden you say you're a coach and you drop that little form in your link and people are just going to, no, it doesn't happen that way. We have to pursue people, right? Well, Jacqueline's my one. I mean, not my only one, but she's one that's still here who randomly filled out a coach form, not a challenge group form, like a coach form, and said, hey, I want to be a coach. What do I do? And I'm like, this has to be a joke, right? Really? So it was a hidden blessing. It wasn't weird. So don't say that. But one of the things I remember you saying to me, even when times got tough, you kept saying, I don't know if it was you or your husband that made you make this commitment, but I think it was him that said you needed to be there in a year, right? Didn't you say that? And I feel like that's what happens is people join and maybe they set these expectations of themselves and their journey or their pace is a little bit slower than the next person or what they would want it to be. And so they do quit after that second month or that third month or that sixth month. And imagine if you had done that, if you quit when you weren't feeling well and you weren't able to actually do what you wanted to do physically, or you quit when you're getting all those no's, you wouldn't see this breakthrough that you're seeing right now. And so I think that's such an important thing to just keep in mind is it's not about anybody else's pace. You know, the community part is incredible, but it can also be something where if we're looking to the left and the right and we're constantly comparing and feeling defeated, you know, that's not where we're supposed to live either. So remember that it's your journey, your pace, but be here in a year. That's a really great piece of advice because you may not see the quote unquote success that you think you're supposed to be seeing right away. But again, how do you define success? Are you inspiring someone? Is anyone closer to Jesus at the end of the day because of you and the light that you were shining? Okay, well, that's a win, you know? So learning to redefine success for what really lines up with what our mission is. And so I love that. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Erica said, I love what you said about fruitfulness being God's job. Faith is ours. Exactly. We think that it's ours. We think we can control who says yes. That's not our business, right? We show up, we do the work, because that's what we're called to do. But if we're too focused and emotionally tied to the outcome, that's when we're going to just constantly be frustrated. So I love that. I love the renovating, you know, renewing the mind, changing our words. Our words matter. And so if we're constantly like, I have to do this, I have to invite, I have to do this, instead of saying, I get to do this. Like, look at you guys on this. And I'm not taking credit for it because it wasn't me, but like, look at you guys. If I didn't reach out to you or your upline and share what was on my heart, like we wouldn't be able to do this right now, you know? So think about that. Don't shortchange yourself. Most people, when I reach out to them, Jacqueline said, you've had people say with a video, like, wow, you took the time to make a video and send it to me. People feel honored. In a society like today where people are about that, like quick, when you take a minute and you know, say hi to someone, I screenshot it sometimes and send it in little group messages to, you know, in team cup teams and things where people are like, wow, you reached out to me. Thank you. Like you didn't have to do that. That's very rare. So don't get caught up in thinking about what that other person's thinking and it holds you back, present the opportunity, share the gift, and it's not up to you whether they receive it or not. You know, that's not what we should be focused on. So does anybody else have any comments or questions? Thank you so much for sharing. Anything? You can unmute yourself and chat.
I was inspired. Thank you so much for sharing, Jacqueline. That was awesome. Super, super awesome.
Self-limiting words, yep.
Thanks, Nicole. We're on a team cup team together, which is pretty awesome.
Awesome.
I also found the whole thing extremely inspiring. I think you had a lot of amazing things to say about serving others and about, I love the fruit comment also. Some other things I wrote down is the whole get to thing, because that's kind of a flip. Like you have to switch your mindset from, okay, I gotta go, to wow, I get to do this, like this kind of way. And then what you said about, well, you started to say build a business, but then you said you switch it to steward a business, and that just changes the whole perspective and puts the focus back on God. That we're stewarding the gifts that He's given us. And so I just found that to be really awesome.
Love it. Raise your hand if it's your first team call.
I was gonna say something, but not me.
I liked the fact that she stuck with it. It's Kelly. That she stuck with it, that, she may not have hit the ground and like had all this success, but just the resilience, that meant a lot, because all of us may not get, all these people involved right away, but I just like how you thought outside the box. The video, like, that was awesome. Like, wow, yeah, that's so personal, to take the time and do that. And that just makes that person feel very special. So I thought that was really great. And I think you did a great job.
I love that too. But I love that it wasn't an easy thing. You didn't say, oh, I did a video because that's just my thing and it's super easy. You were like, that was uncomfortable for me, but it's something that I know is going to mean more to someone. So I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone for that person. So I love that too. Valerie, were you going to say something?
Yes. So first of all, thank you so much for sharing, because I find it mind-blowing how the people who think that they are the least worthy to be sharing are the ones that have the most impact. And like, your words were amazing, and you've inspired all of us just because you decided to crush your fear and just step out of your comfort zone. Like I said in the chat, life begins at the end of your comfort zone, and amazing things happen when you do decide to take that leap of faith. So you are an inspiration to all of us, and I just want to encourage you to never underestimate yourself, because just the way that you speak and communicate and like the humility that you have in your heart just attracts so many people. So like, thank you so much for sharing, and you keep doing you, girl. And I'm so excited for you that this is like the beginning of your journey, because you decided to trust in the Lord and just accept that everything is happening on His timing and not your own. And it's kind of just like a little door that you kind of just creeped open, and from now on it's just gonna like swing open, because you took that leap of faith, and that leap of faith is always the hardest to take. So thank you so much.
Well, now I'm crying. Thank you.
Our little mama coach over here.
Thank you.
All right, girls, let's close in prayer and we'll get you to listen. I'm too fired up after these calls. I'm like, sleep, what? No. Okay, let's pray. Holy God, I am so just thankful right now. I am in awe of your hand that's working in each and every one of our lives, Lord God, whether we in the moment sometimes feel it or see it, Lord, or think that you're there, you are always working behind the scenes. And it may not look the way we want it to look. It may not be as obvious as we think, Lord, but if we slow ourselves, because it's your still quiet voice. Satan likes to roar around like a crazy loud lion, but your still small voice is always there. You're always speaking, you're always working, Lord. So just quiet us, quiet our flesh, quiet the distractions around us, Lord, and help us to just put on our Jesus glasses so that we can see you working in our everyday lives, Lord. And you have called each and every one of us to coaching, Lord, right now in this season, whether it's forever or whether it's for a season, whatever it is, we don't know, God, but we know that right now in this moment, you have called each and every one of us here. And so that is one of our purposes. And so I just pray that in our sphere of influence, whether we're moms or teachers or nurses or, single or married or, no matter what our season of life is that we're in, Lord, you have us where you have us for a reason. And so I pray that you will use that story to reach the people that need to hear that, Lord, and that you would give us the boldness to share and be vulnerable and show people that you don't have to be perfect to do this, because we're not going to be perfect, but you're going to use our struggles as a means to, yes, humble us and then strengthen us with your strength, and then use it as a means to glorify you. So I just thank you for each woman that's listening to this, whether it's live or the playback, Lord. I just pray that you will keep us humble, keep us focused on our mission. It's so easy to get distracted by the shiny things. It's so easy to get caught up in, things that at the end of the day don't matter, God. So I just pray that on this narrow road, keep us focused on what matters most, and that's you and bringing glory to you. But I thank you that we don't have to walk the road alone. You've given us sisters, Lord. I'm so thankful for that. At once it was just me. And so to look around and see all these faces, Lord, all this light that's just shining and beaming, that's you. And so I'm just thankful. And I pray you'll continue to use us as we show up, and we're willing vessels, Lord, for you to use us to accomplish your mission. So we're so thankful. Love you and thank you. Amen. Amen. All right, let's take our picture. You guys take some too and post them. Okay. Larice, can I see your face? Are you in your PJs? What you eating? Just kidding. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, there she is. Hi. All right, ladies. Love you all. Have a great night. Bye. Good job, Jacqueline.
Yes. Woo-hoo.